Oh yeah, you know, this right here is something I really never get tired of looking at.
The Knott's Berry Farm replica of Independence Hall.
July 4th, 1966, Walter Knott opened his brick-for-brick replica of our most famous building.
For 52 years, this building has been open for free to people like me who appreciate American history.
Or school children going on their field trips, or reenactors at different times, and even, occasionally, the movie industry.
I was here the other day, running around, having some fun for the 4th of July, just being silly.
But on that day, Knott's Independence Hall was closed, so I decided,
what the heck, I gotta come back a different day just to peek inside again. This is just one of my favorite places in Southern California. Just the fact that Walter Knott loved America so much, he would build a replica of Independence Hall and leave it open for free for all the people like me who grew up down here pretty far away from American colonial history. Every so often the lights dim in here, there's a little audio show where the candles light up and you can hear the voices of the founding fathers. And just like July 1776, it's awfully hot in here today. Whew. One thing Benjamin Franklin didn't invent was an air conditioner. Ooh, so much cool stuff in here in the other room. They've got all kinds of amazing artifacts in here. I never noticed that they have all these signatures from the same people who signed the Declaration of Independence. And of course the good old red coat in one corner and George Washington and Betsy Ross sewing our flag in the other. Not to mention the mightiest flag on the wall here. And all built as basically a historical public service by Walter Knott. It's open till 4 p.m. every day. It's free.
Definitely worth a visit if you're ever in the area.
A lot of people don't know that this side of the street over here used to have a whole other half of Knott's Berry Farm, Knott's Jungle Lagoon. There were rides, there was a steamboat over here, there were little wooden creatures. It's actually very difficult to find pictures of the old across the street part of Knott's Berry Farm from back in the day, but I'm still looking. I'm still in the middle of a bunch of legal stuff, so I had to cancel a bunch of my July traveling plans. So I've been trying to use this extra time to dive deeper into Knott's Berry Farm history, not to mention Disneyland as well. Hi, Duck. Often some of these episodes on this channel can take quite a bit of research beforehand to pull off. And sometimes I get so carried away with the epic ones with all the research, I get all wound up and I forget sometimes it's okay for us to just hang out and do nothing. So today, while I'm crossing Under Beach Boulevard over here and visiting Knott's Berry Farm, we could have a little hang time. You know, I'm down here anyways doing some research for top secret projects. So why not bring you guys along? Oh, look at this. The modern entrance to the Knott's theme park is just back that way, but I've always loved all these buildings on the outside. These are all the original Knott's Berry Farm buildings from back when it was actually a farm. This little one-way street now is called Grand Avenue, and that was the street alongside of which Walter Knott built his first lean-to produce and berry stand over here in this area. The first one was just some sticks and palm fronds and whatnot. Later, a little wooden hut, and then when he finally got to purchase the land, he arranged the deal so that for the first couple of years, all they had to pay was the interest on the loan, and that way they could afford to build some buildings here. That was the original Knott's Berry Place, and it was all built right there. There was a berry market and a little tea room where they could serve customers up some food, and then over here on this end was a little nursery where you could buy some of the berry plants. Sounds like a very good time to me. I've done some videos about this before, and I'm actually working on a much better redo of all that stuff. But I bring it up because I've recently rediscovered some old Knott's Berry Farm menus in my stuff that were graciously donated to me. This one in the front here is from the late 1940s, and the one back here is from the very early 1950s. Now, if you look at the one from the 40s, at the bottom is a picture of the original Knott's Berry Place buildings. This is soon after they renamed it to Knott's Berry Farm. Now, if you're looking at those buildings today, they don't quite match up with the way they looked in the 1940s, and that's because between the era of this menu and this menu behind it, it got quite a facelift. But you know what? Comparing the 1950s image to the modern day view, it looks pretty darn close. It looks pretty darn recognizable. The Knott family lived right behind that berry market building there. Remnants of their house are still back there backstage. I've seen and touched them, but I wasn't allowed to film them at the time. Hopefully someday. Anyway, I guess I should be saving this for videos in the future. You know, for the full-blown history dive, but I just can't help myself. Knott's Berry Farm history is way overlooked. And you'd think it'd be a much better known subject, especially considering the massive influence that it had on Disneyland down the street. Seems like every square inch of Disneyland has been documented in historical research. There's all kinds of books and websites. When I started doing this, there there was basically no videos, no fun ones anyways, on the internet about it, so that's why I did what I did. Of course, today a lot of other people have come along and jumped on the history bandwagon over there. But for whatever reason, Knott's just gets ignored. It's a lot harder to find old information about Knott's, old pictures, etc. That's why I'm constantly trying to learn more, and I love artifacts like this. This is awesome. I love to learn, and it's epic to find out that in the 1940s, Mrs. Knott's chicken dinner included all of this stuff here and only cost $1.50. Seriously, only $1.50, and you even had your choice of dessert. Look at all that stuff. And if you weren't feeling a full-on chicken dinner, you could get a hamburger for only 25 cents. That's a heck of a deal. And look at this, just a couple of years later, the price only went up by 50 cents. Look at that chicken dinner, $2. Southern fried chicken, cherry rhubarb sauce, salad, mashed potatoes and gravy, vegetables, hot biscuits, homemade berry jam, our homemade pickles, choice of coffee, tea, or milk, and choice of berry pie, vanilla ice cream, or boysenberry sherbet. You would be pretty hard-pressed to find a dinner like that for $2 these days. It's no wonder then that according to this, in 1950 alone, they served over 1.1 million chicken dinners. As you can imagine, that made the restaurant very popular, and to give them something to do, of course, they built Ghost Town. Back then, it was free. Today, it costs a little bit of money. But just like those early guests, I too am about to head inside. But before I do, just out of curiosity, kind of want to find out what that meal costs today. Ooh, Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant is still very popular. You still have to wait, even in the middle of the day, to get some delicious chicken. At least it's nothing like the wait back in the day, huh? Look at the size of that line. Let's see, let's look at the modern menu here. Oh, they still have the traditional dinner, but now it's $21.99. Ooh, 60 years will really change the prices, huh? Whoa. And look at that down at the bottom. They've still got pictures of the old Knott's Berry place in the menu. That's crazy. Just waiting for them to add a gluten-free menu for me. They're very into their history here, which is awesome. They still got tons of historical photos on the wall of the Berry Farm and Mrs. Knott's kitchen here. Not to mention Walter and Cordelia Knott's portraits still on the wall. And this whole display case over there just at the entrance, full of old family photos, menus just like mine, original vintage pie tins, Walter Knott's actual hat, and even some personal dishes from the family, including Cordelia Knott's water pitcher. The prices may be a little different today, but the chicken dinner tradition is still going strong. And from what I hear, them portions are still huge. I mean, just look at the chickens they're working with. He'd be scary if he wasn't so chicken. Get it? No, okay. All right, that's enough. See, I get distracted very easily by Knott's Berry Farm history. I know some of you are familiar with the story, but there's always new people jumping on board who aren't, so I always get carried away, you know. All right, time to head through security. Ooh, I'm secure. And into the old Berry Farm. I am always very excited to visit Ghost Town, where we get to travel back in time to the 1880s or so. That never really was, but kinda, sorta, actually is. We're still in the middle of Ghost Town Alive, so all the peek-in doors are open and there are live characters running around here being all old westy. I spent my whole life just literally peeking in to the peek-ins here that were full of mannequins, and now they're just wide open. You can actually stand inside of them and interact with all the characters out here in Ghost Town. Well, there's one right there. Oh, okay, well, be quiet. Oh, there's some unwholesome, unsavory looking characters out here. We better be careful. Ooh, there's one of them right there. He looks very dangerous. All right, we'll just mind our own business here today. It's like 100 degrees out here. He's still blacksmithing. 105 in here. Yeah, okay. Well, people need their horseshoes no matter what kind of weather it is.
I got your money.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look at that, boy. Come on over.
Here, go pay off Friday.
Tiny, what is that?
Well, that's the money I owe Friday. I made it honestly.
Why are you guys interrupting? Tiny was over here exercising.
They helped me out. What did you do to make it home?
See that? There's all kinds of weird shenanigans and storylines going on out here. If you have the time to wander around, you can get very involved.
That feller over there, that's my lawyer.
Oh, okay. I got one of those. Expensive, right?
Exactly the problem. I owe him a whole lot of money.
Okay.
Now, I just paid him a tiny little amount, but he's going to come back asking for a whole lot more.
Oh, gotcha.
Would you do your best to get him off my scent?
I'll try.
Distract him while I sneak off?
Which one is the
in the
lawyer?
big brown hat there, kid.
Oh, in the big brown hat. Okay. Okay, I'll do it. I heard you were a lawyer.
Well, I am a lawyer. You looking to?
I'm supposed to distract you so that guy over there doesn't have to pay you the rest of what he owes you.
Hey, you're real good at that.
Yeah, right? I know.
Yeah, I appreciate
You're very
that.
distracted right now.
I am.
Well, how about that? I've done my duty. Oh no, wait a minute. I've gotten involved. Uh-oh. He's not distracted anymore.
Ooh, it's weird to see everything in Ghost Town open for business, including Goldie's place over there.
Normally, the talent is occupied in that building. There is just a lot going on. Look at the sheriff. He looks busy.
Yeah, what I gotta do.
You have to give a speech?
That's right.
To who?
Well, to the town.
Oh, okay.
See, my mom, her name was on the deed,
Oh, okay.
and they took it from her because her estranged husband said she
The
was...
deed to the whole town.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
The land.
So this is your town.
Well, not mine, it's my mom's.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Now, I wouldn't be able to run a town. There's no way. I'm just a ranch hand.
Yeah, well.
Working on a ranch. That's all I do.
So you need to give a speech?
Give a speech.
I would start by screaming. Gets everyone's attention.
That's not a bad idea. give me an example of a good scream.
Ah!
Ah!
See, they're looking.
You're right, that did work. That's a good idea. Ah! Ah! Yeah!
That's how you wake people up in the morning. All right, I have to keep reminding myself not to show you guys what I'm working on over here. Working on some research for some new projects. Doing a little catawampus gazing. I love a good old-fashioned visit to Ghost Town, especially this part of Ghost Town, the Western Trails Museum. Any fan of the old West will find plenty to gaze at in here. Everything from old firemen's hats to old barbed wire, the devil's rope, to cattle brands, to Native American artifacts, old guns and old barber poles. And I think my favorite are all the hand-carved wooden old Western miniatures. Not to mention some more of those old Knott's Berry Farm menus. Oh, look at that one. It went up to $2.25. Ooh, speaking of history, look at this guy on this Knott's map. Do you know who this old miner is? That's Whittles, the old Knott's Berry Farm prospector mascot, who's only very, very recently been resurrected in the form of sweet Knott's Berry Farm merchandise. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, for a long time, Knott's merchandise was pretty terrible. A lot of weird t-shirts like the Heineken logo, but instead it would say Knott's instead of Jack Daniels, Knott's Berry Farm instead of ketchup, Knott's Berry Farm. But whoever they've had in charge of the merchandise in the last couple of years is doing a rad job, because they're finally realizing their history here is their greatest strength, and they brought back Whittles. Look at him, there he is. He was sold out of the other store. We had to come all the way over here to the other side of Ghost Town. Look, there's Whittles the prospector, and there's Brutus, his burro. You were gone for a long time, Whittles. What were you doing?
I was doing some prospecting out in Calico in the desert.
Oh. Now, Brutus is a little bit more recent. The old prospector always had a donkey, and there were a lot of prospectors and donkeys that used to walk around Ghost Town. But as you can see by this sign over here, Brutus is named after an actual modern animal. And during Ghost Town Alive, if you head down to the livery stable at the end here, you can actually come and visit Brutus the donkey. Look at him. He was rescued from the desert. He was all skinny and forlorn, now well-fed and happy. Normally you can pet him, but I hear today he's a little cranky. Ooh. Well, it is about 1 billion degrees, so that's kind of understandable today. Hey! Anyway, in addition to the plush, Brutus is now featured on a little shot glass over here, along with his partner Whittles, of course. These manners love their whiskey. That's pretty cool, the way he's on all this merchandise. He even has his own t-shirt somewhere in here. Oh, look at that. There it is, it's Brutus. He's famous now. Check this out, now they're finally selling like Walter Knott style postcards. There's a book about Cordelia. Look at that old berry stand. Ghost Town tote bags, Walter Knott tote bags, catawampus mugs, catawampus glasses, catawampus headgear, catawampus candy, and of course a couple of catawampus t-shirts. Look at that. Their merchandise used to be all catawampus, but not anymore, even though it is. Seriously, so much better. Like, look at this Calico Railroad shirt. Even I want that. Now they got Knott's Berry Farm Ghost Town and Calico Railroad engineer hats, conductor hats, Sad-Eyed Joe themed beef jerky, and that's not even mentioning all the Ghost Town Alive merchandise. Dude, they got epic patches and pins, t-shirts and scarves, even pocket watches, bags of fool's gold from the Calico mine, and even this epic chocolate right here. Look at that. Pick and pan for golden chocolate, and Whittles is right on the label. Finally, enough stuff to really get into Knott's and be a fan. So many cool things out here. I want these for root beer floats. Even some old-timey medicine, some boysenberry elixir. Huh? Ooh, that's basically liquid candy right there.
Me and the boys was getting crazy on that boysenberry elixir. Can't touch this stuff no more. Not since I accidentally done shot my horse, and look what happened to him. They stuffed his head.
Dang, this is all making me thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty. And buying this beef jerky isn't gonna make me any less thirsty. If only there was somewhere I could parch my thirst. Somewhere in this hot desert, I can get a cool drink. Ah, maybe the saloon. Nah, it's a little busy in the saloon. Plus there were dancing girls in there. I'm not sure I'm old enough for that yet. Luckily there's some drinks just over here. And if you have an annual pass edition, you can get free little drinks all year, like I did with this boysenberry punch. You can get another one of these every 15 minutes. You used to have a little refillable cup, but now they have it where you can just put it on your pass. You get a little small cup like this every 15 minutes. I got it with no ice. It's already cold. Oh, that is boysenberry good. Oh. Very flavorful, let me tell you. Oh. Alright, gang, I think this is where I cut you off for the day. Thanks for winging it with me today. I still have a little bit of historical research left to do on my own. I gotta keep top secret. Kind of bummed that my original summer travel plans didn't work out because the whole court case I'm dealing with, etc., etc. But at least I get to spend a little more quality time with my friends Handsome Brady and Whiskey Bill over here, right, fellas?
For the last time, kid. We don't know you. Now get lost.
Someday I'll be one of the bench crowd. You'll see.
Dang, I'm glad to get rid of him.
All right, guys, I think that's enough humiliation for one day here in Ghost Town. Thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure to check out the links down below.
And you've done your duty.
Like me, you can wash up with this soap. Oh, it's gone. Well, I guess we don't have to be clean. We can still go home and sleep well.
How long you been in town? About 5 minutes. So, you know, I'm getting settled.
You know, I got to admit to you, I really like them random land adventures. Are you talking about them videos? The videos, yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, them videos is great, actually. Yeah, but that personality of that guy, ain't too fond of that. No, his personality is terrible. Can't stand the man. But them videos are nice, though. I enjoy watching them from time to time. Oh, yes, the videos is fine, but oh boy, that personality. Yeah, especially his annoying voice. Oh, and his ugly face.
Well, at least I like the show. I heard both of you guys. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Brady.
Great. Now we ain't never gonna get rid of him. No, we're not. Get it? Oh.